In the spring of 1925, a British explorer walked into the Brazilian Amazon and was never seen again. Colonel Percy Fawcett was one of the most celebrated adventurers of his age, a man who had mapped uncharted jungle and survived where others perished. He was convinced that a great lost civilization lay hidden beneath the endless rainforest canopy. With his grown son at his side, he set out to find it. Then the letters stopped, and one of the greatest searches in exploration history began. Percy Harrison Fawcett was born in 1867, a British Army officer turned surveyor who found his true calling in South America. Sent to map the disputed borders of Bolivia and Brazil, he spent years hacking through territory no European had ever charted. He faced piranhas, anacondas, disease, and hostile encounters, and he emerged with a reputation for almost supernatural toughness. Where other men broke down, Fawcett kept walking. To the Royal Geographical Society, he was a hero. To the jungle, he was a fascinated obsessive. Over years of expeditions, Fawcett grew certain of something extraordinary. He saw pottery shards, earthworks, and strange raised causeways deep in the wilderness. He heard native legends of ancient stone cities swallowed by the forest. Most scholars insisted the Amazon could never have supported a large society, that the soil was too poor and the jungle too hostile. Fawcett disagreed completely. He became convinced that a sophisticated, forgotten civilization had once flourished there, a place he began to call, simply, the city of Ze. Fawcett's obsession was fueled by a mysterious document known as Manuscript 512, held in a library in Rio de Janeiro. Written by a Portuguese explorer in 1753, it described a party of treasure hunters stumbling upon the ruins of a vast dead city deep in the Brazilian interior, grand archways, towering columns, streets of stone, and inscriptions in an unknown script. Whether the account was truth, exaggeration, or fantasy, no one could say. But to Fawcett, it was proof that his lost city was real and waiting. By the 1920s, Fawcett had secured funding from a group of investors and was ready for the expedition of his life. He chose his companions carefully and kept the numbers tiny, believing a small, fast party had the best chance of survival. With him came his 21-year-old son Jack, strong, idealistic, and eager for adventure, and Jack's close friend Raleigh Rimmel. Fawcett was secretive about his route, terrified that rivals or careless searchers might steal his discovery or die trying to follow him. The three men set off in April 1925, pushing eastward into the wild Mato Grosso region. They rode with pack animals and local guides to a remote outpost, then dismissed their helpers to continue alone. On the 29th of May, Fawcett handed a final batch of letters to a group of returning porters. In one, addressed to his wife Nina, he wrote with the excitement of a man on the edge of triumph. His last recorded words were a promise that they would not fail. Then there was silence. Fawcett had warned that he might be out of contact for months, so at first no one panicked. But months stretched into a year, and the year into two, with no word from any of the three men. His wife Nina clung to hope, insisting her husband was simply delayed, perhaps living among a friendly tribe. Slowly, the terrible truth settled over the world's newspapers: the most famous explorer alive had vanished completely into the Amazon. The disappearance ignited a frenzy. Over the following decades, dozens of rescue and recovery expeditions plunged into the same jungle, some backed by newspapers and geographic societies. It is estimated that as many as 100 would-be rescuers died searching for Fawcett, killed by disease, starvation, drowning, or hostile encounters. The green wilderness that had swallowed the colonel now devoured those who came after him. Yet not one expedition ever produced solid proof of what had truly happened to the three men. The theories multiplied. The most likely explanation was grim and simple, that Fawcett's party had wandered into the territory of a wary tribe and been killed after exhausting their gifts and goodwill. Decades later, some indigenous elders reportedly hinted that outsiders matching the men's description had indeed been slain. Others believed the three had simply succumbed to fever, hunger, or the countless natural dangers of the forest, their bones scattered and lost long before any searcher could ever hope to find them. But stranger ideas took hold too. Fawcett had dabbled in mysticism and spiritual beliefs, and some whispered that he never intended to return at all, that he meant to found a secret commune or vanish into a hidden native community. For years, rumors surfaced of a wild, blue-eyed old man living deep in the jungle, or of a light-skinned child said to be Fawcett's grandson. Each lead drew fresh explorers and fresh disappointment. None of the sightings ever led to the colonel himself. In 1951, a set of human bones was recovered and presented as Fawcett's remains, supposedly given up by a local tribe. But when examined in England, the skeleton did not match the explorer's known height or dental records. It was another dead end. To this day, no confirmed trace of Percy Fawcett, his son Jack, or Raleigh Rimmel has ever been found. Three men walked into the trees in 1925 and left behind nothing but questions and a scattering of ambiguous, unprovable clues. There is one final, haunting twist. Fawcett was mocked for believing a great civilization once thrived in the Amazon. Yet modern archaeology, using satellite imaging and LiDAR, has revealed the remains of enormous ancient settlements beneath the forest roads, plazas, and networks of towns that once held thousands of people. In a sense, the city of Z was real. Fawcett was chasing a truth the world dismissed. He simply never lived to see it, lost forever in the jungle he was certain held a hidden world.